U.S. Vice President Mike Pence launched a broad attack against Beijing, accusing China of predatory economic practices, military aggression, and against the U.S. and of trying to undermine President Donald Trump and harm his chances of winning re-election. Now, addressing a gathering at the Hudson Institute of the U.S. Vice President repeated claims that Beijing is using billions of dollars infrastructure loans to countries across the world to tie them to the Chinese government, a practice termed debt diplomacy. Now, in particular, Pence referred to Hambantota Port in Sri Lanka as well.
Just ask Sri Lanka, which took on a massive debt to let Chinese state companies build a port of questionable commercial value. 2 years ago, that country could no longer afford its payments, so Beijing pressured Sri Lanka to deliver the new port directly into Chinese hands. It may soon become a forward military base for China's growing Blue Water Navy.
However, speaking to CGTN, chairman of the Sri Lanka Port Authority, Dr. Parakrama Dissanayake, denied Pence's attack over issues between Hambantota Port and China.
At this point of question of a debt trap does not apply. We are looking at Hambantota emerging as a transshipment gateway for industrial traffic.
What we must understand is that there is superpowers more and more interested in the Indian Ocean for its resources and geopolitical reasons. So we must be cautious that Sri Lanka make sure that our ports are only used for peaceful purposes, and all possible actions, laws have to be strengthened.
2 ships, Kaga and Inazuma, belonging to the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, arrived at the port of Colombo on a goodwill visit. A trio of Indian Navy ships arrived at the port of Trincomalee. Japan's largest warship, the Kaga helicopter carrier, arrived at the Colombo port on a 5-day goodwill visit. Defense Secretary of Pakistan, retired Lieutenant General Ikram-ul-Haq, along with a high level of delegation, will arrive in Sri Lanka. The People's Liberation Army Navy ship, Hai Yang Do, arrived at the port of Colombo on a goodwill visit.
There was a time when Sri Lanka and most Asian countries were strangled for development with the controlled assistance coming from the IMF, which we think is the influence of the Americans. And then we were really, our economies were moving backward rather. So at a time like that, the Asian region depended heavily in donors and people and countries which came forward, like China, to assist us in that struggle. So India has come in a big way to give us a hand at a time when the states were influencing IMF, who had a very strong influence over the IMF, did not extend that liberal free hand to countries like Sri Lanka. Therefore, the concern expressed by Americans at this moment of time, accusing of various things of influences by China, cannot be taken as a friendly, as a sort of a friendly comment. The question we have to ask America now is, what did America do to assist us at the time of need for us to move forward and carry forward our stagnating economy at that time?